Hello, everybody. It's Tuesday, the 28th of November, 12:39 GMT, and things are quiet on the Western Front. There's a ceasefire in place in Gaza, which is being observed in the north as well. Hostages are being exchanged daily. The last official agreed-upon tranche took place yesterday. It's to take place today on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. No, I think that was the last one was yesterday. I don't know. There's more planned. My back of the envelope calculation indicates that at the current rate of exchange, 10 hostages equals 1 day. They have about 15 days left. So I don't know how that game works, because the Israelis have made quite clear that at whatever stage the hostage exchange program is completed or failed or breaks down or whatever happens to it, they're going back to work. So I don't know how, I guess the only possible stratagem for the Hamas is to simply hope that if they do play it out to the 15 days, the world sentiment will be such that, well, if you've done it for 15 days, game over. And hence they win. All they have to do is survive to be considered victorious in this. Because if they survive, they'll continue to remain in control, which is simply not part of the Israeli objectives. They have two objectives: to remove Hamas from, or at least assure that they can't come back to power for a generation, and to get the hostages back in that order of priority. So I don't know how that game plays out, but in the meantime, here's Gaza. I just want to point out a couple of geographic facts, because it's starting to annoy me, the mindless regurgitation of things that aren't correct. It's the largest open air prison in the world. It's the densest place in the world. I've been there. I through there. It's dense, but let's give you an idea. This is about 10 miles, about 40 kilometers. About 25 miles from the Erez crossing to the Rafah crossing. And here it's about 2 miles wide, and here it's about 7 miles wide. In the end of the day, Manhattan could fit into about half of this. Manhattan's about 10 miles long and about similar dimensions. And it could fit into about half of Gaza. The population of Manhattan is about 1.65 million people. Residents of Manhattan. Not that, it doubles every day. People come into it, but live there is about 1.65 million. In Gaza, it's 2.37 million. So it's twice as many people. But in terms of square mileage, Manhattan is 38.5 square miles. Gaza is 140 square miles. So the density in Manhattan is 74,000 people per square mile, and in Gaza it's 16,000, 16.8 thousand. About 5 times less dense. Okay, it's about 3.5 times bigger, and it's so. Please, and you've seen these refugee camps. At one point, people were living in tents in Canarsie, New York, too. You know what I mean? I think it's well understood. At least it was by me at some time. The people that sold Stuyvesant the property that they probably didn't own anyway, for the 4 cents worth of trinkets, were I believe, the Canarsie Indians. Nonetheless, you get the point. Yeah, they lived in tents then too. They're teepees, whatever. There's no teepees here. There's no refugee camps. Okay, this is a big city, well developed, with lots of trade and lots of goods and services, and none of those people you see in the pictures on the move are particularly lean, frankly. They're all well-fed, gesunde people, okay? So they're not starving to death in Gaza, and again, I don't want to say that they're living well, but the media just loves to continue to, hold on 1 second. The media does like to overblow some of these statements, and they're not really so exact. As far as we're concerned, everybody is okay so far. Yochi's back on duty, and Hadassah's fiance Eddie is also serving. He's on duty as well. Just to let you know, in terms of what's going on number-wise, there's only about 10,000 forces in Gaza at the moment. That's what they call about 4 divisions. Most of the soldiers that were drafted, it was a complete overreaction. They've been sent home. And yes, those 10,000 soldiers are, it's as you know, this is a very deliberate, slow, prodding engineering battle. House to house, booby trap to booby trap, entrance to shaft entrance. Very slow and prodding, and those engineers are well protected by tanks, but there's just not that many of them. So that's the situation in Aza. They're at a stoppage point now. They're holding their ground. They obviously haven't retreated, but how it's going to proceed when it goes down south, and it is going to go down south. I don't know how. Again, I mentioned it. I don't know how what the Hamas is thinking. I mentioned what I think the Hamas has to be thinking. It's the only thing they can think. The Israelis are going to prosecute the war, however, I think, to the end, and the Americans are behind them for that. The president has asked them to be as mindful as they possibly can and sensitive as they possibly can to the wide-scale destruction that has to take place to flush the enemy out, but they're not saying don't flush the enemy out. Au contraire. So meanwhile, everybody's shipping aid and shipping assistance and support through the southern entrances to Aza, and Nasrallah in the north is observing the ceasefire. The Houthis, on the other hand, down in Yemen, are having a field day. The U.S. Forces are intercepting missiles almost on a daily basis now. What that means, I'm not sure, but we'll just stay tuned. Hope that the hostage situation continues to play out in our favor, and just hope for the best, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to do it for me today. Stay informed, stay strong, stay in touch. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.